remember what you were told by one gentleman who was the one gentleman who was an ambassador in Kenya, that choices have consequences. Remember what you were told by that particular guy who was our ambassador in Kenya, that choices have consequences. So every day, make a choice. We choose daily what to do, and our choices direct us towards a certain direction. So always ensure you are choosing entrepreneurship daily in a very small way. I want to make you laugh. I want to make you laugh. One of my mentors, he has some properties in one of the, let's say Runda, you know it. So he has these two properties. So he has where he lives, then he has bought another property next neighborhood. He has constructed, so he rents out that particular property. And he was saying how he got that particular property, how he was able to get it. He was able to get it as he was looking around the neighborhood. He saw a for sale sign. Somebody was being auctioned by a bank, and they wanted to sell that property. The prices that particular time were very high, the cost of the land. But because this guy was under duress, he was willing to give him at almost a throwaway price, which he did. So ideally, what you are saying is that you will find most of the times, you will find that there is a tendency that you'll find there is a tendency for you to get opportunities around you if you just take time. And then he said, as he bought that land, again he found another piece of property next to that one, which was up for sale. Of course, he didn't have the money, so he called one of his friends, and he told him, in my neighborhood, there is a property that is on sale. And because this friend had come when they were opening the house, he had come for that particular ceremony, he came in and asked him, so how much are they selling? Let's say, assume they were selling 7 million. It could have been more. But he told him 8 million. And the other guy, because he really liked to come to that place, he told him, I'm sending you 8 million. He was abroad. And I'm also sending you an extra 200 chayako, what you call maybe like somebody is buying you a gift. You have done me a very good. So not only did he make, so he went to the seller of the land, he gave the seller his 7 million, he got his 1 million without making any effort, and he got another extra 200. And his friend was happy, the seller was happy. What I'm trying to say is, the power of choice helps you to identify opportunities around yourself, because there are opportunities where you can make without even having it. That's why we said you don't require capital per se to start. That is a form of like a broker. You have done some brokering. But it is because your antennae are out as an entrepreneur. You are thinking entrepreneurship. So that power of choice every day, the 7 power formula, power of choice, the first power. The second power in entrepreneurship is the power of association. Choose your friends carefully. There's no way, we normally say if you hang around chicken, you'll be chicken. You hang around eagles, you'll be an eagle. You hang around the lions, you'll be a lion. You'll be the next lion. Yeah, I remember listening to a guy called Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington is a person who did movies that, as you were growing up, he did very many movies. He was also giving a speech in one of the convocation or graduation ceremonies. And he said, watch your friends, the power of association. Because if your friends, he was saying, if you hang around the barber shop for too long, your hair will be shaved. So if you hang around people who are in entrepreneurs, you will also be the next entrepreneur. And I also tell people that if you hang around people who, for example, if you are married and you hang around 3-4 people who are divorcing, you'll be the next person to divorce. If you are single and you hang around people who are married, 4 your friends are married, you'll be the next person walking down the aisle. Choose your associations very carefully. That's why people join golf clubs. They don't join golf clubs for any other reason, because most of the people there are business or they are senior executives in organizations. Power of your association. The power of your association will make you scale up in business. That is the second P. First P, power of choice. The second P, power of association. The third P is the power of self-discipline. Even if you are running your business, pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. When you make that 10K, that 5K, there's a formula I was taught by one of my mentors. You may use it, you may not use it. Of course, you have your tithe. If you are a believer, you go to a church, your 10%, give it to God. Caesar to Caesar. Then maybe you might take 10%, pay yourself. Take 10%, pay yourself. That is your money. It is your money. You need to pay yourself first. It is important to pay yourself, because when you pay yourself, it also encourages you to go out and look for more money. I was reading a book by Robert Kiyosaki called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he was saying that he had employed an accountant. When he was starting off with his wife, Kim, they employed an accountant. This person, the accountant, was a person who has an employee mindset. But Kiyosaki is a business person. So he would first of all remove his tithe, then he would remove now money to pay himself, and the accountant would be very mad and say, remember, we have this particular supplier we have not paid. We have this supplier we have not paid. They are on our doors. They are saying they are going to auction. But he was saying that idea that the suppliers are coming to auction you, that idea that you are owing people, he used to drive him even to look for more money. So the third P is pay, the power of self-discipline. Pay yourself first. So your tithe, pay yourself. And of course, we normally say you put some money somewhere for saving. The fourth P, the 7-power formula, the fourth P, power of good advice. Pay your brokers well. This one for me, I have seen it work. Whenever I have done any work, we call it in consultancy, and I've shared with some of you who I can see here. I think I've shared with Rachel. We call it finder's fee. There are so many consultants in town who can be given work. Last weekend on Saturday, I was handling a team of bankers from one of the banks in Kenya, a branch in Westlands. We had gone for team building. How did I get that particular job? A student I had who I taught for a diploma course in marketing. He is a general manager running a group of restaurants. He invited me to go and speak to them on teamwork, communication, and customer service. And that's about 4 years ago. And we have been communicating. So he was one of the workers who was there was a student in your university who had been employed like a temporary waiter looking for money to finish his university. So he finished his university, he became a lawyer. Now he is employed as a legal officer by the bank. So he called his general manager and told him, I remember 4 years ago, we had a teamwork communication training. That gentleman who trained us, could you give me his number? So he was given my number. And that's why I was called. When I was called, I went, met the manager of the branch, because this gentleman is not a manager. I met the manager of the branch. And when I met the manager of the branch, he told me we want somebody to take us to Naivasha. And immediately we went to Naivasha and ensure that we went to Sagana, sorry. We had a very brilliant, good time in Sagana. We finished it. What am I saying? These particular guys, of course, I buy them lunch. There's nothing wrong. We call it a finder's fee. I'll buy my student lunch. He gave me some work. I'll buy this particular guy who took time to call me. Pay your broker as well. Why am I saying you pay your broker as well? Because they will refer you. They will refer you. They will refer you. They will refer you to others. So pay your brokers well. The other P, the fifth P, is the power of focus. Power of focus. Assets over luxuries. So ideally, once you have a job in your hands, you have been given some work as an entrepreneur, focus on that particular. I find people getting excited. You already on some work, you already stretched in resources, you already stretched because of your staff members, and then another opportunity comes and you want to run to that particular opportunity. Woe unto you. Because when people note that's how you work, they will never give you some work tomorrow. So ensure when you are given some piece of work, please concentrate on that particular piece of work. There's a reason why those people have looked for you. There's a reason why those people have taken time and they have come to you. Concentrate, finish that particular piece of work, and then you can start looking for another piece of work. Don't be somebody who goes all over looking for opportunities. When you stretch yourself so hard, then you may find you are not able to meet. So the power of focus, very, very important. The other important thing is what you call the power of getting something for nothing. We call it the Indian giver. Power of getting something for nothing. I've just given you a case of one of my friends who is a mentor, how he got some work, without even paying a single coin. He didn't pay a coin. He got some work because he was able to broker a business. So the Indian giver has this idea. If you find somebody in need, give. But tomorrow that person most likely is also going to come and give you. So you didn't give because you wanted it back. You gave because you felt it was important to give. So the power of getting something for nothing. The final P I want to share is what you call the power of the myth. Power of myth. The need for heroes. We all require heroes. We all require mentors. We all require people who can support us. We all require people who have walked the path we want to walk. That is what you call the power of the myth. People who have walked the journey we are walking. Very, very important. So we call it the power of the myth. Very, very, very important. Now, the 7P formula again. The first P, power of choice. Choose daily. As an entrepreneur, you must choose daily. The second P, power of association. Show me your friends, and I will show you the kind of a person you are. Hang around employees all the times, you become an employee all your life. For you to shift in 2023, you must start now identifying people who are in entrepreneurship. Don't dismiss that charcoal guy, the charcoal dealer in your locality. That guy is in business. There's a fruit seller. I have one guy who is a fruit seller in my locality. And the other day we were having a conversation. The guy is married to a primary school teacher, but he sells fruits. And it's not even all fruits. He only sells watermelons. He started with a cat. Now the other day I saw he has bought a motorcycle. So choose your power of association. Choose your friend. You hang around the same way Denzel Washington said, hang around the barber, you are going to get a shave very soon. The power of self-discipline. That is the third P. Pay yourself first. Even if your suppliers are crying, they want to kill you because you owe them. Pay yourself first. Power of self-discipline. The other power, the other P is power of good advice. Pay your brokers well. People who give you work. You are looking for a piece of property in a certain area. That broker who has told you, hey, ile shamba inakuanga na kesi. Hiyo nyumba unataka kuchukua, mwenye alikuwa hapo kulikuwa hivi. Huyo landlord sio mzuri. That guy has given you advice which would have costed you something. So pay your brokers well. The fourth power is the power of focus, especially for us who are in business. Anytime you get a windfall, you may do a deal. You may do a supply. Let's say you supply government. Some of us here, I can see they supply government. I remember one time I did some good work. And let me tell you, the other thing is the power of social media. I saw an opportunity on LinkedIn. They were looking for a consultant, and they wanted somebody who had two qualifications, somebody who has worked in an FMCG company and somebody who has taught in a college or university. I had both. So I sent a message. I thought it was hoax. I thought it was some internet hoax. So I sent a message. When I sent a message, I got back feedback, and they had asked you to share your email. So I decided it doesn't harm. I shared my email. I got back a feedback after about 1 hour on my email address. And this particular person told me, I am so and so. I'm in South Africa. We are recruiting on behalf of an FMCG in Nairobi. But because of canvassing, that's the reason why they had taken the recruitment to South Africa, because they thought the people in the office here will employ their people. And he told me, can you send me your CV, send me your passport, send me your ID number? In fact, they called. After I sent my email, they asked me for my personal details, my cell phone number. They called and we conversed within 1 day. They called, we conversed. Then they told me, I sent now the documents they required. They looked through. Then the following day in the morning, I found a letter of engagement in my email address. We are going to engage you as a consultant for an FMCG company in Nairobi for 3 months. And we need you to come down to South Africa for a training. They call them boot camps. We are processing your air ticket, your accommodation, everything. Within 2 weeks, I was on a plane to South Africa for 4 days of boot camp. And I found we were 3 consultants. I found 2 more. The other 2 are from India. We came back after 4 days, and now we were seconded to one of the bottlers in Kenya. I don't want to mention their names. We were seconded there. And I did, within 1 week, one of the Indian friends became unwell. I think because of the weather change, became very much unwell, and he couldn't continue. So we had to look for another guy who was to replace him very quickly as a matter of crisis. And now I'm the local man here. I'll be in the market. They asked me, do you know anybody who can be able to, one, especially who has worked now for the Coca-Cola, because it was Coca-Cola was a client, who has worked for Coca-Cola, and somebody who is also teaching. Now, about 3 weeks before, when I received the message, I had met one of my former friends who used to work for Coca-Cola as an area manager, and now he was teaching in one of the universities in town as a part-time lecturer. A guy we had not even met for almost like 10 years. So we just collided, we had a cup of tea, we exchanged numbers. So I quickly called him. I told him, Robert, where are you? He told me I'm around Nairobi, I'm at the institution. I told him, can you come over to this particular place? Robert, he didn't even go for the boot camp. Within 3-4 days, we trained him. And Robert, and do you know how long we did that particular job? A job I have found online on LinkedIn. We did it for 1.5 years. And they were paying some good money. We moved around the country for 1.5 years. What I'm saying is, don't dismiss your social media. I was speaking about the power of focus. So once you have that kind of windfall, for me, it was a windfall. Of course, we have some other businesses we do as a family. You take that money into that and you buy assets over luxuries. That is not the time to increase your lifestyle. Remember what you were told yesterday by Paul Wambogo. Before you start increasing your lifestyle, first of all, hold on to what you have. When you have a windfall. So we channeled that money into some other businesses we do as a family. And those businesses now sustain, even when things have gone down. Power of focus. The other P, power of getting something for nothing, the Indian giver, and finally, the power of the myth, the need for heroes. Now, I need you to have what you call the millionaire mindset. There's a guy we call the millionaire next door. As you are in entrepreneurship, you cannot start entrepreneurship and you just remain as low. Entrepreneurship gives you that mindset, what you call, if you look for a book called The Millionaire Mindset or The Millionaire Next Door, there is a guy who is in Githurai, who lives in Githurai, because I'm quoting Githurai being like a low market area. but he is a millionaire or a billionaire living in Githurai. But when you see him walking with the other people there, you may not know. So I need you to have this millionaire mindset. Number one, to have millionaire mindset, you must own your own business. Own your own business. An employer, not many employers, maybe in this country there could be 1 or 2 employers who can make you a millionaire and sustain you a millions. Business can do that. So one of the ways to have a millionaire mindset, a business. Own your own business. What we are talking about, entrepreneurs. The next thing to have a millionaire mindset is live within your means. Once you start scaling up, the business starts growing. It's not the time to show off, to start doing funny things. Remain within your means. Another millionaire mindset tactic is invest long term. Anything, even in terms of pieces of land. Look at places where people have not gone. Put your money there. And you'll find within no time that money is going to come back. A millionaire mindset, another tactic is have a plan. Have a plan. And finally, do nothing fancy. Now, I want to give an assignment. My speaker has told me he is running in it. So if he comes on board, we will thank God. Ideally, what I'm trying to say is, I want to give an assignment. Before we start hearing some 1 or 2 comments from the people on board, I would wish to hear also your feedback. So I want you to look at your life. Now, I want to look at your life boldly. And I want you to look at your life in 5 dimensions. The first dimension, we call it, write it on a piece of paper somewhere, spiritual dimension. You can divide maybe your page into 5 columns. 5 columns. So the first column, maybe before we do that, can we stretch a bit? Can we stretch a bit, Rachel, Solomon? Stretch a bit. Faith, stretch. Hey, believe it. Can we stretch? Believe it. Believe yourself. Stretch. Yes. Good. Then we do a bang our hand again. Yes, good. Thank you so much. So have a column of spiritual dimension. Have another column of mentor dimension. Have another column of physical, right? Physical on top. So spiritual dimension, physical, mentor dimension. Have another column of wealth dimension, wealth, business, career. That is wealth. Then have another column of social, right? Social on top, social. And the last column is philanthropy or giving back. So 5 columns: spiritual, right on top; social, right on top; wealth, right on top; physical, right on top; social, right on top. Then the last column, philanthropy or giving back. Now, on spiritual dimension, write the following. Spiritual dimension, write 1 or 2 things. Write prayer. Write prayer. Write meditation. Write, for those ones who are Christians, they can write Bible reading. If you are Muslim, Quran, whatever. If you are an Indian, Gita. So you have prayer, you have meditation, you have reading your Bible. On the physical dimension, write exercise and nutrition. Exercise, nutrition. On the wealth creation, write career, write business or entrepreneur. Career, entrepreneur. For those ones who are in entrepreneurship, it will be entrepreneur. For those ones who are in business and career, it will be career. On the wealth. Then on the social dimension, right? Family, friends, relationships. Family, friends, relationships. Then when you come to the one on mentor, there is a mentor dimension, mentor. Write about education. Some of you are in college, you are doing your master's, your degree, because it's a way of improving yourself, to making yourself a better employee or a better entrepreneur. So right education, right training. Then, of course, when you come to what you call philanthropy, say maybe, for example, mentoring somebody. You can also write giving, community work, and giving to church. Now, that is now your template for life. This one is combined together with entrepreneurship. Now, the exercise I want you to give you is look at your spiritual, the three things you have written on spirituality, and write down there below, what have you done today, this morning, about spirituality? If you read the Bible, you can write, I read the Bible. If you had time for prayer, you can write, I prayed. If you meditated, you can write meditation. Please do that. When you come to wealth, career, what have you done with yourself on your career today or your business today, right? One or two things. I want to give you that exercise for about a minute. Please go to social. What have you done for your family this morning? Maybe you prepared your child to go to school. Probably you prepared breakfast for your husband if you are married, or you gave money for things to be bought in the morning if you are a husband. Or maybe you called a sister if you are not married or you don't have, yeah. So can you write, I want to give you a minute, try to populate the 5-6 dimensions on something you have done this morning, because that's how you choose daily. Every day you must be on physical. Have you done any form of exercise? I took a rope, I skipped in the morning, I did my jumping jacks, because I remember like myself this morning, I was on the floor. I did my jumping jacks, I did my bumpies for about 20 minutes. Every day you must choose. So can you write, kindly take a minute, do that, then we can be able to continue. Because that's how you choose. That's how you don't want to find you have succeeded so much in business as an entrepreneur, but your spirituality is lost. You have no relationship with your God. It doesn't give you what you call balance in life. Or you find you have succeeded so much in with your spirituality, but you have no business, you don't have a career. Or you find you are very well, you are a gym person, you are always in a gym, but the other dimensions you have nothing to show. So can you do that quickly in a minute? It's an assignment, a good session. This will be your take home, and be doing that on daily basis. That's what you call journaling. You journal, you write something daily, you do it and you write it. This morning I read a book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, 10 pages. That is now my mentor. I put a tick, I have done something mentally. My family, of course, prepare. I was there, we prayed with the family. The child was ready for school. He was put in the bus, she was put in the bus. And you had a family time in the morning, social, or you call your sister, or you call your mother. Every day you have something you are ticking on social. Or you have a friend who you called, you had a conversation, you encourage them. That is social. So daily, you choose daily. And that's how now you keep a journal. Every day, what have you written on your social? And you can even give yourself a percentage out of 100. If you feel you have been doing very well on your relationship with your sisters, with your mother, that's how you scale. That's how you scale. The power of choice, the P of power, that's how you scale. Because you don't want one area to go up and the other areas are collapsing. I have seen CEOs in this country, people who are CEOs, don't have a family. They concentrated on employment, roles, no family. Good. So I think that's the challenge. Maybe somebody would like to share what they have written. I know some of you are very bold. Believe yourself. Believe in yourself. Would you want to share what you have written, if it is not very personal, on the 5 dimensions? Educate enterprises. Yeah, you can unmute yourself. Good. So tell us your name.
My name is Catherine. I don't know whether you're hearing me. My name is Catherine. I'm Catherine from Educate Enterprises, whereby we deal with training in hospitality and food industry generally, and production for cakes and events. So what I've checked, it's all about, let me start with the spiritual. The spiritual for me, I've done the prayer, I have read the Bible. When I go to the mental, of course, I'm reading a certain book that is called Leaders Without the Title. So I have done at least several pages.
Leader Without Title by Robin Sharma.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm doing. Then for physical, that one I haven't done it today. That one I haven't given myself.
Have you done it this week?
Yeah, this week I have done it. Walking yesterday, walking about 4 kilometers. Then for social family life, I've done mentorship for my children before going to school. That is family. I've called one of my family member. For giving back, that is, I have one person who I'm mentoring currently, a Form 4 leaver, and actually there are two, a Form 4 leaver and another one who is in college. I'm mentoring him about the career life, and the wealth, that is now the entrepreneurship.
One of the reasons you are here today, you are investing in your wealth creation abilities.
Yeah? Exactly.
Somebody told me that you may read a book of 1,000 pages, but you only get one idea that propels you from this level to this level. So you might be here for 1.5 hours, pick only one idea, you run with it, it changes your life. So you are doing very well. Can we clap for Catherine? Let's clap for Catherine. Let's clap for Catherine. Wherever we are, good. Thank you so much. Anything else you want to add, Catherine?
It's a very powerful mentorship, this program. It's a very powerful one. Actually, I have picked one or two items that will make us improve on our way of doing things in business. And kudos for the people who organized for this. Thank you.
Okay, and for those people who do wish our numbers, I think my number, I have put it on the chat line. It is 0728, because sometimes you can put our contacts there in the businesses we run, because that's how we network. Mine is 0728 733 726. Kindly put your name there and also your number. Anybody else would like to share like Catherine? Because when we share, we also grow. Anybody else? Celine? I haven't spoken to Celine for over 15 years. Would you like to share? We can't hear you, Celine.
Hi, Joe, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. I'm good. Sorry, I am on the road. I am rushing for some meetings, so that's why I'm a bit quiet this morning, but I am following. I am learning. I have actually learned a lot.
What have you taken away, Celine? Because I know Celine is one of the senior. What have you taken away for today?
I actually what I have taken away this morning is on the 7 Ps. So I am really going to work on them. And one thing that I keep telling people, my social network is my network.
Man. Great. Yes. And I know I have done some work from Celine. Celine was my student. I taught her. She listened to what I had said on a Saturday. I was feeling very low. She referred me, and I have used this case. I used it yesterday here. She referred me to her employer. I went and met a HR manager who was a little bit not very friendly to begin with, only to meet the HR manager the following day, coming to defend a project. And Celine and Joanne have remained my friend. And I trained for Celine's company for 3 trainings. We did 2 for people who do shops, because she works in the telecom industry, and we did for senior management. Power of your network. Your network is your net worth. Solomon, would you like to say something? Because we want to end in the next 3 minutes, because we have a whole day ahead of us. Would you like to share something, Solomon? Moduri? If not, then we can have maybe Rachel. Rachel can conclude for us.
Okay, hello, how are you? Okay, for me, looking at like today's question, I've said a prayer. Then for me, part of gotten so much from it. So far, physical nutrition, I've taken some gouaches. So for me, I feel good. Socially, let me say, talk to friends. We've gone out for some few catching up. Maybe for giving to the community today. So for me, actually make, I'll give back to the community. And my
I think there's a bit of challenge on your feedback. Maybe what you can do, you can also share on you can share on this chat line. There's a bit of feedback, but I could hear you have done your gouaches today. You have done your family this morning, and you have also said you have taken care of your health. So powerful. We like it. Kindly share on the chat line the other items. Anybody else who could share very quickly? I think Solomon is telling us he's on the highway, so he may not be in a place to be able to share. Finally, as we conclude, I want to say this, that Alvin Toffler, the American businessman and a futurist, said, Alvin Toffler, an American businessman and futurist, said, the elite of the 21st and the 22nd century will be not those who cannot read and write, not those who cannot read and write. It is those who cannot learn and relearn. Those who cannot learn and learn and relearn. So this particular morning, we have taken time, and some of us are sharing they have unlearned. There are some things you are unlearning that you have been doing wrongly. There are new things you have learned to start doing them in the right way. And there are things that you have also relearned. You used to do them, but there are things that you have relearned. You used to do them, but you feel, I can do them more better. That particular place I have ended. That is your tool. That is your roadmap. Over and above thinking about entrepreneurship, do you know there are things you have? People think that you are blessed. You are far much ahead. That's why, as Catherine is saying, the power of philanthropy, giving back. That Form 4 guy who is struggling, that Class 8 girl who has come to you, the power of giving back. You can never go wrong with the power of giving back. So as I conclude, I want to say this. We are going to do a second session this end of the year. This one will be in Mombasa. They will register with some fee. We'll alert you because now you are within our network. Just watch out. September, August, we'll go down to the coast. That will be physical, Umondo Kumondo. And I want us to end there. I want us to request Faith to close with a word of prayer for us, because as we began with a prayer, and we like ending with a prayer. So thank you so much, everybody who has joined online on Facebook. Faith, close with a word of prayer for us.
Yes, it's okay. Let's pray. Thank you, dear Lord, for this day. Thank you for this morning. Thank you, dear